Sometimes life hits you so hard that you forget how to breathe. For me, that moment was when I saw that message on my phone. Lauren, I know everything about you. Either $50 million or I tell Jeff everything. Hello, I'm Lauren Sánchez. Yes, that Lauren Sánchez. Jeff Bezos' his wife, one of the world's wealthiest women. But the story I'm going to tell you today is about something money can't buy. The reality that you can never escape your past. Thank you for watching, and if you listen to my story until the end, you'll learn how to deal with the biggest threat you might face in your life. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because this story is just the beginning. It was May 2023. Jeff and I had been married for only a few months. I was sitting in our new home in Miami, sipping my morning coffee while watching the sunrise. My life was perfect. Love, money, status, what more could a person want? When my phone rang and I saw a message from Daniel Blake, that name was like a ghost from my past. Daniel was my ex-boyfriend, a young and ambitious journalist I had met 15 years ago. Those passionate but stormy 6 months we spent together were the craziest period of my life. When I opened the message, my world collapsed. Hello, beautiful. It's been a long time. I guess it's time for you to talk to me. I have some documents that are very valuable to you. Let's meet tomorrow at 3 p.m. at our old cafe in Marina del Rey. If you don't come, it won't be long before Jeff sees these documents. My hands started trembling. I knew what Daniel was referring to. Those 6 months when I had a secret relationship with him while I was still married. The photos we took, the letters we wrote, even those special vacations we went on together. Everything was in his hands. Before I met Jeff, I was in another marriage. I was married to my ex-husband Patrick McAllister, a mid-level producer in Hollywood. The relationship I had with Daniel during that period was not only emotional, but also very intense physically. And Daniel was someone who loved to document every moment of ours. But what was truly terrifying was that Daniel was a journalist and knew very well how to use these documents. If this story leaked to the media, Jeff's reputation, our marriage, even Amazon's stock prices could be affected. The next day, I went to Marina del Rey. My heart felt like it was going to burst out of my chest. I was going to see Daniel for the first time in 15 years. Standing in front of that old familiar cafe, I knew he was waiting for me inside. When I entered, I saw him at the corner table. He had aged, of course, his hair had turned gray, but those old confident looks were still there. When he saw me, he stood up and smiled. That smile took me back in time. "Lauren, you look exactly the same," he said, extending his hand. "Daniel," I said, trying to keep my voice calm. "What do you want?" We sat at the table. He pulled out a thick file from his bag. "You know what's in—" A thick file from his bag. "You know what's inside," he said. "Evidence of our beautiful days together. Photos, letters, hotel records, even that video we shot that night in Napa Valley." My face went white. I'd forgotten about that video. That night when we were drunk, with Daniel's camera. "What do you want, Daniel? Money?" $50 million, he said, without taking his eyes off mine. "It's not that much money for you anymore, much less than Jeff's daily earnings." "This is blackmail, Daniel. It's illegal." He laughed. "Prove it. I'm just an ex-journalist in financial distress, trying to sell an old love letter. You're a lying woman who cheated on the world's richest man." At that moment, I understood that Daniel's plan was much bigger. This wasn't just about money. This was about revenge. "Why now?" I asked. "Why are you showing up now after 15 years? Daniel's face hardened. "Because you left me back then, Lauren. You used me and then erased me from your life to marry someone like Jeff Bezos. Meanwhile, my career was ruined, my marriage ended, my life was turned upside down. Now it's your turn." I understood this wasn't just about money. Daniel wanted to destroy me. But I was Lauren Sánchez. I had learned many things to survive in life. "Give me a week," I said. "I'll find the money." 2 days, he said. "Otherwise, all media organizations will receive this file on Saturday morning." When I left the cafe, my mind was in chaos. Should I tell Jeff? Or should I solve this problem on my own? If I told Jeff, his trust in me might be shaken. But if I didn't tell him and it came out, that would be an even bigger betrayal. That night at home, while having dinner with Jeff, I was looking at his happy face. His love for me, the light in his eyes. I didn't want to lose all of this. But at the same time, continuing this relationship by lying wasn't right either. "Is something wrong, Lauren?" Jeff asked. "You seem very distracted today." "Just tired," I said. "I'm a bit stressed about my new project." But Jeff was a very smart man. He sensed that I was lying. "Are you sure? If there's a problem, we'll solve it together." At that moment, I realized once again what a good person he was. But I also knew how much this situation would hurt him. The next morning, I decided to make a plan on my own. First, I called my old friend, Michael Rodriguez. Michael worked as a private investigator and was very experienced in dealing with such situations. "Lauren, this is a serious situation," Michael said on the phone. "But let's investigate Daniel Blake. Everyone has a weakness." That same afternoon, I received the news I was waiting for from Michael. "Lauren, I found very interesting things. Daniel Blake has serious financial problems. He's about to lose his house, his credit cards are over the limit, and last month he even borrowed money for his mother Rosa Blake's medical expenses. But what's really interesting is this. The woman Daniel is currently married to, Sarah Blake, knows nothing about his past. Moreover, Sarah comes from a very religious family and couldn't tolerate such a scandal. This information was a turning point for me. If Daniel was trying to extort money from me through threats, I could also use his weak points. That evening, I called Daniel. "Let's meet tomorrow," I said, "but this time by my rules." "Are you setting the terms now?" Daniel laughed. "Yes, because I wonder how well your wife Sarah really knows you." There was silence on the other end of the phone. A few seconds later, Daniel spoke. "What do you mean?" "We'll talk tomorrow, Daniel. At Beverly Hills Hotel, at 2 p.m. When I went to the hotel the next day, Daniel had arrived before me and was waiting. This time he didn't look as confident as before. "I'm very curious about what you're going to tell Sarah," I said as soon as I sat at the table. "What does Sarah have to do with this?" "A lot, Daniel. Because if you leak documents about my past to the media, I'll also share information about your life before you met Sarah with her." Daniel's face went pale. "What information?" I pulled out a file from my bag. All the information Michael had gathered was there. For example, how you were threatened because of casino debts in Las Vegas in 2018. Or how you participated in that drug addiction rehabilitation program in 2019. Even that crazy relationship you had with your former editor, Angela Martinez, in 2020. "Stop!" Daniel shouted. "Where did this information come from?" "You might know how to do research as a journalist, Daniel, but I'm now someone who has access to much bigger resources." Daniel's hands started trembling. "If Sarah learns this, she'll both leave you and her family will destroy you." "I know, Daniel. I also know that Sarah's father, William Harrison, owns one of the city's biggest law firms." There was a long silence. Daniel put his head in his hands. "What do you want, Lauren?" "What I want is very simple. You'll give me that file. In return, I'll keep your secrets too. But if you try to threaten me again, Sarah will learn not only about your past, but also that you tried to extort money from me today." This isn't fair," Daniel mumbled. "Was it fair when you cheated on me and left me 15 years ago?" I said. "Was it fair when you threatened me with blackmail?" Daniel thought for a long time. Finally, he took that file out of his bag and put it on the table. "Everything's here," he said. "But I won't forget this, Lauren." "You don't have to forget, Daniel. But don't forget that if you appear in my life again, I'll tell Sarah everything." Daniel left the file and got up and left. I didn't even look back. That evening at home, I told Jeff everything. My past, Daniel, The threats, what happened today, everything. Jeff was shocked at first, then angry, then understanding came to his face. "Why didn't you tell me earlier?" he asked. "Because I was afraid of losing you. Because I was afraid my past would ruin my present." Jeff hugged me. "Lauren, before we got married, we both had pasts. What matters is what we're living now. And you were very brave today." "Aren't you judging me?" "Judge you? You defended yourself against someone who tried to extort money from you through threats. I'm proud of you." That night I slept peacefully for the first time, but the story didn't end there. 3 months later, Michael Rodriguez called me. "Lauren, I have bad news about Daniel Blake." "What happened?" "Daniel died in a traffic accident last week. But what's really strange is this. Before the accident, he had suddenly paid off his old casino debts in Las Vegas. It's unknown where he found this money." This news made me very uneasy. Was Daniel's death a coincidence, or had other forces come into play? A few days later, I received an unexpected call from Daniel's wife, Sarah. "Mrs. Sánchez, I learned that my husband left a file about you before he died. I want to see you." I met with Sarah. She had brought that file. "Daniel confessed everything to me before he died," she said. "How he threatened you, how he tried to use this file. I'm very ashamed on his behalf." "Sarah, you're not guilty at all. I know, but I want to return this file to you. What Daniel did was wrong, and there's something else." Sarah pulled out another file from her bag. "Daniel wasn't just threatening you. He was apparently trying to get money from other wealthy names too. This is their list." When I opened the file, I was shocked. Inside were similar blackmail plans involving the biggest names in Hollywood and the business world. "Sarah, we need to give these to the police." "I already did," she said. "Daniel may be dead, but this blackmail network apparently had other members too. The FBI has started an investigation." Months later, I learned that Daniel's death was indeed an accident, but his blackmail operation was part of a much larger organization. This organization had researched the pasts of Hollywood celebrities and extorted millions of dollars by threatening them. As a result of the FBI operation, 12 people were arrested, and dozens of celebrities were freed from these threats. Today, 2 years after this incident, Jeff and I have a stronger marriage, because there are no secrets between us anymore. The most important thing I learned that day was this: you can't escape your past, but you can face it and protect your future. If you also have things in your past that bother you, share them with your loved ones, because secrets only weaken you, but truth sets you free. Daniel Blake is no longer alive, but my life is more beautiful than ever, because I have nothing left to hide. I'm happy to share this story with you. If you liked my video, don't forget to hit like. You can share your similar experiences in the comments. In the next video, I'll share other secrets from another strong woman's life with you. Life sometimes tests us, but we can come out stronger from every test. Never forget this.